Everybody wants to kill Bill. I have no idea why. But I just wanted to, because it was really good. It kind of made me laugh the way he said it.
Gets better. Yes, there are millions of people in the world just like you, in nice places like Switzerland and Sweden. They enjoy high standards of living and freedom, and they're socialists. Studies show they're actually happier than we are, and that's not surprising, because the only difference between American socialism and European socialism is European socialism works. For their tax dollars, Europeans get full health care coverage, a generous pension, daycare, long paid vacations, maternity leave, free college, and public transportation that doesn't smell like pee. Whereas our tax dollars go towards military bases in Germany, subsidies to oil companies, building bridges to nowhere,
I know a little bit,
and putting half of
reality
Cheech and
about
Chong in prison.
oh shit, you can stand on
They
the
get
street corner and go
universal
to
health
prison.
care, we get a Blue Angels flyover at the Fiesta Bowl.
Yay!
They get paid maternity leave, we get the Octomom. They've got
Brits
Airbus,
love
we've got the
celebrities.
Plus.
It's got Brit in
Isn't
it.
there anything we still do better?
Celebrity.
Even their paranoid racist loners look like speed skaters. And ours look like Porky Pig.
And then to, to rebuttal that, which...
Conversations I have with people back home is like, Bernie Sanders is socialism. No, it's democratic socialism. It's completely different.
I love this question.
And I
could talk about socialism for hours.
The best punchback line to come at that, because that's always the
like socialism. What Bernie Sanders wants to bring to this country. He wants to bring an ideology that killed people and is killing people to this day. We have a regional director, Joanna Rodriguez, for Families from Venezuela. She does amazing work. Families from Venezuela, they're eating dogs in the streets. The average Venezuelan has lost 36 pounds in the last year. They're dying of starvation. But you know what? Their leader, Maduro, he's gaining weight. He has champagne at nights, and he eats caviar on the balcony window, while the people thought that they voted for and supported a democratic socialist government. So what really happens in socialism is, to put simply, is the poor will never get richer, but people who have anything will get equally poor. So you're equal. They love equality. The left loves equality, right? Well, you'll all be equally poor, and the very, about a couple thousand people will be so magnificently rich, and they'll have everything and control the entire country. And so, again, I would...
Wait a minute. That sounds like the United States already, doesn't it?
Respond to that with questions and ask everything I said back in question form. But I believe the biggest failure in human history...
Don't you just love the lies? They're so subtle.
Inability to recognize the failure of socialism, and the fact that it's here now on our shores horrifies me. I had the
Oh yeah, putting our tax dollars to pay for things that actually improve the lives of the people in the country is a horrible investment. And one of our comments here, just... Let me find it. Well, it's the insanity of having to go left or right. Yeah, it's the insanity. Socialism sucks thoroughly, but it doesn't beat the socialist fascism we have in the U.S. by a few degrees. Well, yeah, because they actually put the money to do something rather than create complete and absolute horse manure. Yeah, it's true. The guy, everything he says is fake, and plus the wording is fake. But where is it though? I was looking for it. It was a really good comment. Yeah, that's it. Michael. He said exactly what I thought. This is very biased. Socialism practiced by the governments he has listed were horribly corrupt. And that is exactly what it is. So the reason why that it sounds like corruption is because it is. It's just a corrupt government under the umbrella of whatever word you want to put. It doesn't matter what it is. If they want to say that they're socialist or whatever, that just means that it's a corrupt military government that throws scraps to the public. And you can see that you see that all over the world. When you have 3 billion people in your country, though, you know, that's a lot of bodies that you have to kill to protect yourself in your little teeny tiny fortress. This is the reason why they throw entertainment to distract people from the reality of what's going on. But anyway, that was the point, is that what socialism was supposed to be, where it worked in Europe, was because the people that implemented it were true to their word. They weren't corrupt motherfuckers. And they were probably corrupt a little bit. I mean, you know, the devil is law, and law is the devil, so you can't really get in that without having some kind of corruption. So, notwithstanding that, they did at least implement it to a point where it actually worked. Amazing. So it is possible. And my point is that it's kind of shitty to live in a country that just dumps you out on your ass when you're 18, and the education that they give you is completely fake. It doesn't help you do anything. No one's going to hire you. And you're expected to pay for a house, a car, children, and debt education, all at the age of 18. You're supposed to have it all figured out. That's pretty much what the country is. People just pop babies out, they come out, and when you're 18, oh, now you're a target, now you're a legal target, and the prisons, the industrialized prisons, get to target you. Because that's really all that everyone's headed to. It's just a big fucking prison society. It's shit. We're ranked the 39th country in the entire world, and yet we have the most money because all the people who have all the money are living over there in Europe. They're living in the islands. They're living anywhere but their country that they're actually making the money in, which is here. It's sad. It's really sad. But yeah, this guy, he's supposedly destroying what socialism, the hypocrisy of it. But he's pointing out countries where it's not socialism. It's just pure-ass corruption. That's what it is. Just corruption.
Opportunity to speak to about 300 Bernie Sanders. I mean, if you want to be a rebel on a college campus, fight for freedom. Fight for free speech. Be one of these people, right?
Well, did you see how he turned the argument into free speech? They always do that. I've always been for free speech. My idea is to take what works out of every government. What works, what we know works, whether it's somewhere else or not. If it works, then you take a little bit out of each thing that works, and you don't have to be a fanatic. A true fanatic and say that we have to have this or this specific definition. But, you know, they don't like that. You can't do that. That's falls under this definition. If it falls under this definition, it has to be this. And you have to follow this set of rules, otherwise it doesn't work. Well, that's bullshit. You can take a little bit of everything. It's called microeconomies. There's probably like 1,000 books that are written on it. High taxes in Australia. Homes 20%. Cars 65K. 33 electric car tax. Important duty. Well, yeah. Example: Polo GTI list price stamp duty rego 30% on a driveway. That's inflation. That's millionaires don't control the government. Only billionaires. Exactly. If a millionaire kills someone, they go to jail and lose all their money. But if a billionaire kills someone, they get a pat on the back and another stripe. People dead today. What an argument, my boy. If conservatism was so great, why there's so people? The country's bullshit. Yeah, it's really what it's about. It's all just for show. And what we have, even just a small amount of socialism that we have, like Social Security and the emergency rooms that we have, it's bullshit. You could go into an emergency room with a fucking knife sticking out of your head, and as long as their code doesn't cover it, you'll walk right out with a knife sticking in your head. And everyone in the world can laugh at me because they know it's true. It's the truth. But no one actually wants to admit it because they say, well, that's being negative. Just the simple things, you know, like making sure that your people inside your own borders have the resources that they need to succeed. Now, you can call it whatever you want, but having an education where people can actually do real trade jobs and they can leave the borders and go somewhere else and do those jobs. That's a real education, when you can go across borders. And all the countries that we subsidize do that. They train their kids, they come over here and they have a really cushy life. And the kids that are born in this country, they don't get shit. All they get is a crosshair on their head. Well, son, you gotta fight for what you want. Such bullshit. It's just bullshit. Master of sophistry. Yeah. Well, it's not that. He says socialism won't work in a society with money involved anyway. It's corruption. As long as you can corrupt someone and say, you know, we'll take care of your family and everything, but you just shut the fuck up while we steal from the rest of your people, it always happens. It always happens. And there's only just a couple of examples where it didn't occur, where people were actually true to what the goal was, true to their charter, true to their idea, and they stuck with it, no matter what. And they didn't follow after the money, and they weren't bribed or corrupted. And then you see examples of where it worked. But everyone ignores it, so because they never bring it up in the arguments, because it's the corruption that kills it. But anyway. Dun dun dun. Why can't you take what works in every government and just implement it? And well, yeah. I don't think that I'm going to get any health care. And even if I had the money to pay someone, the only reason that they would give me health care is if they were afraid to be sued. You literally have to take a lawyer, the devil's advocate, into the emergency room with you to get any type of care that's actually going to it's because they're scared of being sued. But you know, when the coroner is in with in the in crowd and their little group of sycophants, it doesn't matter. The bodies keep dropping, they keep going to the morgue, they keep getting burned. The most ridiculous shit ever. The reality, the truth of it. I'm tired. If I could say something to myself and send it back into the past, what would it be? That's a good question. That's really a good movie, isn't it? I mean, if you took what the reality is rather than what the crap that they show on the silver screen, could you send a message back in time to my younger self? What would that be? What would that be for anyone? Would it be lottery number? Basically, America is a lottery, but it's a fake one. It's one that no one can win. And if you're slated to win it, they'll contact you beforehand. It's not a horrible way to look at it. It's just that's the reality of it. I've seen all of these ideas play out, and I've seen them work. I know they can work because I've seen them working. And it's not just what it's showing. It's the fact that other countries give their citizens a leg up. They say, you know, hey, we don't want you to be indentured servants for the rest of your life, so we're going to help you succeed. We want you to, if you don't want to stay here, you can go over to another country and make money. And there's a whole explanation of how that works and how that profits this country, but no one really seems to want to understand it. The minute that Social Security came around, they sucked the money dry out of it, literally. And for my generation, we've been robbed. Literally been robbed. There is no Social Security for us. There is no emergency room. There is no health care. There is nothing. There is nothing that the government has done for us. And even the shit that they feed you, the water that they give you is tainted, the food, it has arsenic and mercury and all kinds of crap in it. It's a horrible situation. What's the difference between going into Chinatown and we're looking at the fact that they're putting cardboard in the noodles, or they're making it out of plastic and feeding it, and saying that, well, you should be happy that you have food. Food grows out of the ground, motherfucker. It grows out of the ground. I don't have to be thankful to you for that. I have to be thankful to whoever created plants. So, you know, that argument just slaps them right in the face. And they hate that. But okay. So what happens when you take a little bit of socialism and a little bit of capitalism and a little bit of democracy and a little bit of republicanism, and you take everything that works out of all those types of ideas and then you put it in one government? What happens? Now that's the great experiment. I would love to see that. Real money put to real use that actually makes a difference in people's lives, instead of funding the whole punishment mechanism, mass prisons and serial numbers and enforcement. Just, it's too much. What kind of dream is it? I'm tired of the lie. I mean, I'm basically left with do-it-yourself brain surgery kits. Because it's a lie. I mean, you can go in there and it doesn't matter if they see something on the screen. No matter what it is, they're not going to tell you. Because they run the fucking insurance companies. If you don't have enough money, you're basically dead on the street. Good luck at being 18, because you're not going to make it far. You'll have to indenture yourself. You want to know something funny? The word mortgage means death pledge to a bank. It's horrible. I'm ashamed of this country. And this is what people fight for? What are you fighting for?